Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion. A big good evening and welcome to the Formula Virtual Racing Season 12 Driver Draft and Calendar Reveal. What an evening of, not really action, but pre-race gossip, pre-season gossip we have coming up for you here this evening. We have got the Calendar Reveal, we have got the Driver Draft, we have me looking like a clown, but that's most weeks. We've got a great evening of action coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a pleasure to have you alongside myself for this evening's action. Firstly, let's remind you of your draft order for this evening. Then, if I can remember where it is, that is, yes, there we go. There is your draft order for this evening. So Dave Sampson, of course, was given the first pick in the draft lottery. Then it was Julius Gassner in second. Then Borbune managed to get the third pick. Then it is Stumer, Hartle, Van Schendel, Rochford, Marriott, Tushy, and Liam Houseman. My tie is very crooked. If you're wondering why I'm in a suit, it's because Nils Hartle now owes me money. Brilliant. Really good. Let's get straight into the swing of things then, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Without further ado, we're going straight into this. Your season now, after the break, no, obviously I'm kidding. Let's see what you guys think at home so far. Here we will be, throughout the evening, going through your thoughts. Oh, I shouldn't have put them ones up. We will, throughout the evening, be going through your thoughts in the stream chat, but let's reveal the first thing of this evening then, shall we? Before we do get into the driver draft, your Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing calendar, I think. Without any further ado, it is officially into us. That'll be the jingle you hear as soon as the draft pick comes in, or as soon as we are ready to reveal a new one. So without any further ado, here is your Season 12 calendar. Oh, isn't she lush? Isn't she lush? Well, it is an 11-round season for Formula Virtual Racing here in Season 12, as opposed to the usual 12-round seasons we have. There'll be a special event come the end of the season, that is to be confirmed, but we will be starting the season in a very popular destination in Albert Park in Melbourne. That'll be where the season starts. Then we'll head to the ever-controversial Monza, which is round number 2. Then it is Las Vegas for round number 3. We head back stateside, and then we head to Stavelot, Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix in round number 4. Then it's off to Saudi Arabia once again, where Luke Davies wrapped up his first driver's title. That is round number 5. Then it is the Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo for round number 6, and the famous Monaco Grand Prix for round number 7. Zandvoort then is returned to for the first time since Season 10 in round number 8. Then we head back to Suzuka for round number 9. Lewis McWilliam, the last winner there, of course. Then the final 2 rounds of the season, it is the Austrian Grand Prix at Spielberg and the very, very much enjoyable Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at Yas Marina, where, of course, we had one of, or as I've been saying, the best races in Formula Virtual Racing history. Let's see what some of you folk think of that one then. Here is the chat reaction. Avesta, I wonder why I haven't added Monza again. Neil saying, I love you for Suzuka. Lewis saying, I'm so happy about Melbourne. A lot of W's in the chat. You guys enjoying that calendar, I think personally, I think it's a good calendar. I do think it's a good calendar. I think provide some interesting action. There's a nice mix of street circuits and there's a nice mix of everything. And I think it's a great calendar. That'll, of course, be posted on our socials later. You can have another check out of it. And yeah, make sure to do that. But I think there's only one reason you're all here, dare I say. And I think that is for of course, the driver draft. Someone's saying to stop the music. This is the music we've had in our intro video all of last season. I'm not sure why it's come as a shock, but we can get rid of the music, if you so wish. Hear the jingle? That means the draft is ready to go, and the first draft pick is in. So I think without any further ado, that leads us into a big announcement. Remember, we've had some big first picks in the past, some controversial ones. Will this be the most controversial one? Of course, it's a different system for this season. If you haven't been keeping up with our socials, the split 2 drivers are picking the split 1 driver, and then the split 1 driver will pick the team for both drivers. So it's a little bit different for this season as opposed to the split 1 driver picking both. There's a little bit more of the equity shared. But I love this jingle, by the way. This is the NBA jingle, if you're wondering when the draft pick comes in, or at least if I selected the right file it is. But that means that, ladies and gentlemen, the first pick is in. The first pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Draft, selected by, Dave Sampson selects for the Formula Virtual Racing Season 12 FVR Draft, from the United Kingdom, Tyler Davison for Alpha Tauri FVR. Tyler Davison is your first draft pick by Dave Sampson for the Season 12 FVR Draft. Tyler now joins Alpha Tauri for what will be his 3rd season. Obviously drove as a reserve for one of those seasons, but now his most raced for team will become Alpha Tauri in Season 12. Dave Sampson, Tyler Davison, an all-British lineup. Tyler now joins an illustrious list of Enzo King, Boar Bune, Adrian Tishy, and of course himself as the FVR first draft picks. A bit of an honour for those guys, and a big honour for Tyler and Dave Sampson, I'm sure, as well. So that is your first draft pick for this season. Let's see what you guys are saying in the stream chat. Wongfi saying Brexit, Yathan saying not the GOAT, Liam Houseman saying that's so random, Nils saying I told you, and Nathan Marriott saying he'll be hear the jingle in his sleep. But Tyler Davison, your first draft pick for this evening. Very, very intriguing, that one. I think it's a good pick overall. I think those two will work very well together. But let's keep the ship sailing then, shall we? The second draft pick is in. A reminder, of course, this pick is by Julius Gassner, the German driver. Julius did not have the best season last season, but he's looking to rejuvenate himself a little bit. With the second pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Driver Draft, Julius Gassner of FVR Mercedes selects from Turkey. Kaan Dolger is selected by Julius Gassner. He joins the Mercedes team for this evening. It's an intriguing pick, I'll tell you that much. It is a very, very intriguing pick. And to know more about it, let's hear from Julius now. Well, that didn't work, unfortunately. But we hope to get Julius in a moment's time. Kaan Dolger, of course, FVR Rookie of the season on his first appearance. Yeah, very interesting indeed. Let's try, however, get an interview from Julius Gassner and see, can we hear why he made that decision. Hello, Julius. Can you hear me? You are on mute as well, just in case you weren't sure. Oh, he's left the call. He's left the call again. This is not rather successful. He's been waiting for this interview for 2 weeks. He's been waiting for this interview for 2 weeks. I kid you not, 2 weeks. Julius, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, Zauber.
Scott made some problems.
Oh, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. Zauber, second pick in the FVR
Good
draft for
work.
you. You have selected Can Dulger for Mercedes. Talk us through that one. What's the idea behind that pick?
The idea was me and Khan, we had a long story together. We raced together in RL, and there I got my first constructor championship with him together. And even though we never talked to each other through a race, we know what the other guy knows, and we know how to understand each other on track. And I talked to him and asked him if it's okay if we go teammates, and he said yeah, surely. And then we got the idea to choose Mercedes because he was born in Stuttgart, and so we wanted to bring some glory to Mercedes as two German drivers like Michael Schumacher and Nico Rosberg did. And so our idea was basically to try to re-accomplish that thing and get some great Mercedes stats and to push each other, because we both know our pace isn't enough to win the championships or those stuff, but we know that we can push each other together to achieve a high position in the constructor championship and get some pace and maybe get some luck like we did in NRL and maybe win the championship if we work good together.
Is your goal for this season to win the championship? Just just a reminder, you did not score a single point last season, so it seems a little bit of a far fetched thing. But is the goal your championship, Zauber?
Our goal isn't definitely not the championship. Our goal is more to push each other, and like when we get a bad result, we know how we can push the other guy again back up to his potential and make him better for the next race. And we can give each other some tips and those stuff. Like Khan is really good on track and can tell me where I have some problems and those stuff. And I can give Khan some advices with setups and those stuff, like when he has problems, and we work perfectly together. So we talked a lot, and we think we won't win the championship, but we aim for maybe top five, top four, something like that, because we surely think if we work together as team, then we can achieve a high position in the constructor championship, especially with each other knowing us good, and we put each other really high also when we talked about it.
You've been waiting for this interview for quite some time, haven't you, Zauber?
Yes, I waited a lot. Like it accidentally started when I used the soundboard at work, and someone saw me in the waiting room because I forgot to leave, and then it quite got into a meme. So yeah, I'm happy I finally got my interview.
Do you have anything to tell the people? Well, before we wrap up the interview and head back to the draft, do you have a message for the big Zauber fans out there?
Yeah, I will. I first of all, I want to thank him for pushing me all the time, and like he knows what I have as problems. And before each race, we go onto the track, and he goes with me some laps, and he tells me where I can improve the pace, what gears I have to choose, and those stuff. And I really get it that it helps me a lot to improve my pace, and I really want to thank Tim of all for that. And I want to thank everyone, even though they for the jokes a bit about my English and those stuff. I really want to thank about everyone who helps me and tries to push me like Luke did before the interview and those stuff. And I'm really grateful I get those help from the drivers and they try to get, even though I'm a rival, they try to get me higher and help them and fight against them probably in some seasons.
Zober, this has been insanely wholesome from you. There's a lot of people enjoying this interview in the stream chat. Maybe we'll have to do a 10-minute Zober exclusive like we done for Luke Davies when he won the championships. Zober, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on yourself and Can. We very much look forward to your work this season.
Yeah, thank you, Evan, and bye.
That was Julius Gassner, who of course had second pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Draft. We have a look at the stream chat for a second. Zower deserved this interview, says Avesta Badi. As Zower was being wholesome, says Liam Houseman. Yeah, that was a great interview, wasn't it? That was really and truly fantastic. The jingle's playing again. I didn't mean to press play on that. It kind of just plays automatically. Apologies. No, I do mean to play it though, because we have to continue on with our draft, and we have the third pick, and that's coming through to us now, and a very intriguing pick, potentially for some, but the third pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Driver Draft. Borbune selects from the United Kingdom and reigning Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers title, Lightning Luke Davies. So the Borbune and Luke Davies duo returns for season number 12. Season number 10, Constructors Champions, Borbune and Luke Davies is your McLaren lineup for this season. Luke Davies now becomes McLaren's most established driver, and if he was to win the championship here this season for McLaren, again, that would be 3 in a row, the first ever driver to do 3 in a row, the first ever team to do 3 in a row in Formula Virtual Racing, narrowly beating Legend Rosenberg in that season 11 title finale. Borbune recognises quality, Luke recognises a good teammate, and Borbune selects Luke Davies for the Season 12 FVR driver draft. And it's a good pick, I think, that one. I think that's a solid pick. They, of course, have a lot of chemistry, I suppose you could say. They both know each other now after being teammates in a very successful season, and I think that is a great pick by Borbune. Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion. Let's see what your guys think in the stream chat. Borbune saying Season 9 World Constructors Championship is back. Luke Davies isn't beating the McLaren allegations, says Kyle Albert. Yeah, says I'm going to be driving again. Well, that's not confirmed. Avesta saying, of course. Lewis saying, that's a wildly good lineup. Yeah, says, I'm going to be driving again. I'm getting flashbacks. Oh, okay. Tim saying, that's a good pick by Borbune. Shall we carry on? The next pick is in. And this pick, of course, to remind you, this pick is by German Morris Schumer. So he's the second German driver to make a selection here in the Formula Virtual Racing Season 12 FVR Driver Draft. Just a reminder, 3-time FVR World Champion, Legend Rosenberg, still hasn't been picked. 3-time FVR World Driver Champion, Lewis McWilliam, still hasn't been picked. Big names still on the board here this evening. Very big names still on the board. However, will that all end now? With the fourth pick in the Season 12 FVR Driver Draft, Morris Schumer selects from the Ukraine, and for Scuderia Ferrari, Avesta Gobadi is selected by German driver Morris Schumer. Morris making a bit of a different selection. He was, of course, teammates with Tyler Davison last season, was selected by Tyler. And now he is selected by, or he selects Avesta Gobadi, I should say. Morris and Avesta will be teammates for next season for Scuderia Ferrari. Avesta Gobadi joining the Tifosi and looking to become Scuderia Ferrari's next FVR World Champion. The World Championship has escaped Avesta Gobadi in the recent past, of course, was a big challenger this season in season number 11, of course. Finished 4th, picking up a couple of wins on his way. Or he picked up the 1 win, actually, but could have well won in Abu Dhabi if that race wasn't, well, what it was. Avesta obviously taking after a man he knows well, Barry Burmont, and joining Ferrari. Maybe not in F1 esports, but, it's a similar enough level. I don't own the league. No, yeah, Avesta, great to see him in Ferrari red. I think Morris and Avesta have Ferrari heritage. I think that could be a really, really good pick by Morris. But let's carry on then, shall we? The next pick is in, and this one, of course, is by Nils Hartl. Remember, Legend and Lewis still on the board here. Still very much on the board. They have not been selected, but is that all about to change? With the 5th pick in the Season 12 FVR Driver Draft, Nils Hartl selects from the Netherlands. Tim Den Heyer is selected by Nils Hartl for Aston Martin Racing. Nils selecting a Dutchman, but maybe not the obvious one. Nils selects Tim Den Heyer, and that will be the new Aston Martin lineup for this season. Let's maybe catch a quick word with Nils and get his thoughts after his pick. Hello, Nils, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So you have been drawn out of the barrel, and it is Tim Den Heyer for you this season in the Aston Martin. Talk us through that one. What made you think that?
I actually wanted to first pick Luke, but obviously Bob Young was quicker to that. But I think Tim and I are quite evenly matched in terms of pace. We get along quite well the times we have been in a party together. And I thought, well, I'd rather pick someone that I actually like and get along with. So I can learn of him as well. He can learn some things of me probably. And we have quite a great lineup for the midfield, for the upper midfield as well. And the goal is to go further into the championship fight maybe later on in the season, to actually be a threat for this time.
Of course, maybe wasn't as successful a season as you were hoping for last season. Are you just looking to build upon that for season 12, or is there any long-term goals there?
Yeah, build a foundation with it and get further up the field maybe. There were some flashes of brilliance in some races, like Monza as well, where I managed the chaos again quite well, but yeah, I look to get quicker with my in my pace, be a more reliant point scorer at times, and maybe get 1 or 2 podiums this season, but they are quite further back in the perspective in the championship, or in the season. But we look at each race like it's just another training session or so on.
And do you have a final word for Kyle Davis, who finds great pleasure in commentator cursing you in his broadcasts?
I hope his sleeves roll down when he washes his hands, but I actually have to ask you for your PayPal address so I can send you €3
Hey, yeah.
Because you actually kept your promise to put
I hope
on
you
the
know
suit.
you've been absolutely scammed, by the way. I was planning to do this before you even mentioned it.
I thought so as well.
Absolutely baited. No, Niels, that will be sent straight after the stream. Great hearing from you, and great hearing your insight into that choice. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
So the ship moves on to the next pick. So Nils Hartl and Tim Den Heyer will be the team for next season. Very, very, very interesting, that one. Let's get a little bit of chat reaction then, shall we? Tim saying, Nils, you're a go. Let's make this a great season. Vesta saying, Tim and an Aston Martin is weird. Lewis saying, if he's 10th pick, he'll cry. And then Luke says Leroy and Legend and Williams. He is predicting it. It's your favourite jingle again. The next draft pick is in. And is it now maybe going to be time for Legend and Lewis to emerge from under the deep dark sea and finally get a spot in the Season 12 grid? They're still on the board, remember. With the 6th pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Driver Draft, Leroy Van Schendel selects from Scotland, Lewis McWilliam for Alpine Racing. Alpine with Leroy and Lewis for this season. Very successful season for Alpine last season with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Borbune. One of the underrated stories of the season. But it is Leroy Van Schendel and Lewis McWilliam for this season. And that is an intriguing one, I think. I think we're going to hear from Lewis, actually, after that pick. The only problem is Lewis obviously didn't know when he was being picked, whereas Tim and Zerba knew when they were going to get their interview. Lewis, let me know if you're still up for the interview, and we will hear from you shortly. Let's see the chat reaction to that one then, shall we? Avesta just screaming Alpine. Tim saying finally he has been picked. Borbune saying my eardrums have been blown off because of the jingle. Is the jingle that loud? I didn't know the jingle was that loud. It's supposed to be just a normal level. I didn't know it was that loud. Hopefully we can hear from Lewis. Yeah, let's bring him in now then, shall we? Hello, Lewis. You're on mute as well, by the way. Hello, Lewis.
Hello.
It is Alpine for you this season. It's off to France alongside Leroy Van Schendel. What's your thoughts on that one?
It's the teammate I wanted. It's the car I wanted. It's the perfect lineup. Really, it's what I would have gone into the season if you'd asked me an hour ago what my ideal lineup would have been. It would have been me and Leroy in the Alpine. So that's absolutely perfect.
Are you looking forward to work with Leroy?
Yeah, I mean, recently me and Leroy have become quite good friends. I met him a few months ago in Glasgow. He's a nice guy. He's quite quick as well now. So I think I've got myself quite a nice teammate out of the split 2 bunch. And obviously, Alpine. I don't know what it was. I just really wanted to drive it this season. I think it's a nice looking car. The onboard's nice. Plus, it means if I win, that's now me extending my record for most teams won with, which I suppose is another thing I did want to achieve. But yeah, altogether, that's. I think I've got quite a good teammate. I've got a good car, and I've got a good opportunity.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer seeming upset as Alpine was stolen. Obviously, you said you'd want to race for as many teams as possible. Is winning the championship with Alpine the main goal of yours now?
Yeah, I'd say it's a goal. I think this season's going to be a bit of a. I think the last 3 seasons I've not exactly performed to a level that's sort of used to. I think even in season 9 I won the championship, but I think the fact I went to the last round showed a lot of my performances because they weren't that great. I think early in that season I was not good. I was all over the shop and didn't attend every race either. And then last season obviously was a complete mess for me. I think I only attended 4 races, and then the season between that, I'm pretty sure I was a reserve at some point. So the last 3 seasons, even though I've won one of them, hasn't been the sort of performances I've been wanting to put in, like season 4 and season 8, where I was there every week performing to my best and won the championship. Not early in season 4, but that was against Legend, so there's only so much you can do.
Lewis, thank you very much for joining us. We do greatly appreciate you giving your insight, and I wish you and Leroy the best of luck this season.
Cheers.
So great to hear from Lewis McWilliam there as he joins Leroy Van Schendel for this season of Formula Virtual Racing. I am going to adjust the jingle, but it's going to have to play before I adjust it. Hold on, let's drop it right down. There we go. That should be a little bit better for the jingle. I won't play it again because the next pick is in. This is a intriguing draft so far. I think you will agree. Let's have a look at the chat. Luke saying the constructors is going to be mental. Neil saying I feel like everybody thought that Legend would be the I think. Obviously the way we did it was I got a list of the drivers. I think that's basically sums it up perfectly. That's exactly what happened. Everybody just thought Legend would be an obvious pick, and they simply didn't put him in. And now it leaves us with a very intriguing matter. When is Legend going to be drawn? When is Rosenberg going to be drawn in the draft? But we will continue on with the draft because, of course, the next pick is in. The 7th pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Driver Draft, selected by Connor Rochford, is from the Netherlands, Legend Rosenberg for Red Bull Racing. It is a triple world champion at Red Bull Racing from the Netherlands for FVR Season 12. It is Legend Rosenberg alongside the new rookie Connor Rochford for this season in the Red Bull team. Red Bull's last World Championship came in the form of Lewis McWilliam. They did not win the Constructors that season. I believe their last Constructors Championship was Season 2. Sam Davison and Tyler Davison. So, it is a very intriguing lineup there, as it is, really, really good. There's a good bit of chat reaction on that one. I'm just having a quick look at it now. Let's get your guys' thoughts on that one. Alpine versus Red Bull is going to be scary, says Tim. That is a scary lineup, says Yafin Van Guru. Hello, says Connor Rochford. Tim Denhire says, I thought it was me again. I said Lewis saying Connor split 2. Yeah, Connor Rochford is split 2 because he's a rookie. So unfortunately that is just the case. But Legend Connor could be a very good lineup. That could be a very, very good lineup. But let's carry on then, shall we? Once again, a reminder of your order. Next up is Nathan Marriott to draw, then it is Adrian Tushy, and then we will reveal Liam Houseman's driver. Of course, he doesn't get a pick because he's last, so he gets whatever he's stuck with. But let's move on, shall we? It's time for everyone's favourite jingle, because the next draft pick is it. And it is, of course, a reminder, Nathan Marriott selecting. The 8th pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Driver Draft, selected by Nathan Marriott from Austria. And for Haas Formula 1, it is Enzo King, who is alongside Nathan Marriott for FVR Season 12. Enzo, a very good driver, has won multiple races, Azerbaijan being deemed his track, of course. As well as winning his home Grand Prix, he has been around a few teams now. Mind you, raced for Mercedes, raced for Ferrari, raced for Williams as well in the past. He will now go to the current Constructors Champions, Haas Formula 1, alongside the New Zealand licensed driver of Nathan Marriott. A great pick there for Nathan, I think, to go for Enzo King. And I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Let's hear your guys' thoughts on it. As Yaffin's ruined that one for a little bit. Nice one, Yaffin. Well done. But yeah, Nathan Marriott and Enzo King for the next season, which means we've got 2 more picks coming up. Once again, a reminder that it is Adrian Tushy who will draw next. So, it is time for the draft pick to come in. It has been sent in to us here on FVR HQ. If you're enjoying the stream here this evening, make sure to hit that subscription button, pop a like, and make sure to follow FVR for more content, because there's plenty more where that came from. With 9th pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Driver Draft, Adrian Tushy selects from Sweden, and for Williams Racing, Wangfi Anderson will join the Canadian of Adrian Tushy for Formula Virtual Racing Season 12. Wangfi will remain at the Williams Racing team for another season, and that is a good pick for him. And that is Wangfi alongside Adrian, which means, of course, after a couple of moments, we will have your final one of the draft, but you can work out who it is. We'll still be back in a couple of seconds. Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time, of course, for the 10th pick in the Formula Virtual Racing Driver Draft. We had a special request for a special jingle for this next pick. This is, of course, Liam Houseman's pick. The draft pick is in. That was a special request for a jingle for this one, so I needed time to load it up. But the 10th pick in the Season 12, 10th and final pick in the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Driver Draft, selected by Liam Houseman from the United States of America. It is Indy 250 race winner and former Formula Virtual Racing Rookie of the Year, Jonathan Jürgensmeyer for Alfa Romeo Sauber, is the next pick. Sorry, I'm laughing at the stream chat. My professionalism is gone. It is Jonathan Jürgensmeyer and Liam Houseman for this season. And honestly, I think we have an absolute stacked grid of Formula Virtual Racing this season. I think we have an absolute barnstormer of a season. Let's get your guys' reaction for the final time as everybody laughing at the Liam Houseman song. I can't take credit for that one. That was a special request that came into me via Discord. And I had to try load it into my software very, very quickly. If you heard me laughing during this Sauber interview, that's because I was trying to get that loaded up. It was very unsuccessful. But that is the Season 12 Formula Virtual Racing Draft. I very much hope you enjoyed it. I think it was good fun. Once again, we did reveal our calendar as well. Here is the Season 12 FVR calendar for this season. Australia, Italy, USA, Belgium, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Monaco, the Netherlands, Japan, Austria, Abu Dhabi, and a special event that will be announced, of course. But from myself, Evan Dalton, thank you very much for joining us for this FVR Season 12 Driver Draft. Our first stream, I think, was a very successful one, so hopefully we can do this more in the future. I'm going to go get my money off Nils Hartl for the suit. Make sure to tune in to the FVR season opener live from Albert Park at 8 p.m. on Saturday with Kyle Davison and Brendan White. Well, unconfirmed, but should be Kyle Davison and Brendan White. Make sure you do tune in there. From myself, thank you very much for watching. A big thanks to everybody who tuned in to the FVR Driver Draft here this evening. We wish the best of luck to our competitors as they embark on the season that they might be able to dethrone Luke Davies, or the season that Luke Davies might be able to put himself in contention for the Hall of Fame. Stay safe, stay well. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion.